Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. If you're anything like me, you enjoy pulling out some interesting fun facts every once in a while at the dinner table or at the water cooler at work. They can be disturbing and awful, and suddenly you're that guy who told everyone that all male chicks are killed. That happened to a friend of mine. If you personally like those facts, you're in just the right place. Just remember, I warned you that these are 10 creepy facts that you wish you didn't know. But before we get started, why not become an archivist today by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. If you end up enjoying this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and in the comments section, tell us some other creepy facts that we should all know about. Number 10. Drug money. According to sources such as National Geographic, CNN, NBC, The Guardian, and Snopes.com, approximately 90% of U.S. bills have traces of cocaine. People in the U.S. often use the bills to snort the drug, and so now many of our bills have small bits of it going from our hands to our wallets to cash registers and even ATMs. We're all just exchanging mostly drug money, it turns out. According to a study conducted by chemist Yugang Zhuo of the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth, of the bills sampled, the number reached its highest point of 95% in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Boston, and Detroit. In the study, the lowest level of contamination were bills found in Salt Lake City, Utah. Number 9. Shaking hands is gross. It's such a deeply embedded cultural practice to shake someone's hand when you meet or say goodbye that we hardly think about it. The likelihood that you're shaking hands with people who have self-pleasured and then not washed their hands is actually quite shocking. We couldn't find an actual study to quote numbers, but we did find a Reddit thread where someone posed the question, and the amount of people who said they don't was actually quite a bit. After using the bathroom, however, a few studies have been conducted. One study found that about 70% of men admitted to not washing their hands after using the restroom, while women were at a much lower rate of about 35%. It's said that you can prevent 14 different serious diseases just by washing your hands, including norovirus, C. diff, and E. coli. Just remember that the next time you go shaking hands with someone. Number 8. Male chicks. Here's that dreaded chick fact. It's true, I'm afraid, that male chicks are tossed by the hundreds into a grinder as babies, both on chicken farms for meat and on egg farms because they are not as profitable. On the one hand, roosters aren't very tasty meat. On the other, egg farms don't want them because they provide no eggs. The practice is called chick culling. In the UK, they usually asphyxiate them, but in the US, they tend to macerate or grind them. We're not that cruel to show you clips of this practice being exercised, but there are plenty of videos on YouTube that you can watch if you are curious enough to watch them. Just take our word on it, we're telling the truth. Number 7. Left-handed people live shorter lives. Approximately 2,500 left-handed people die every year after using equipment that was designed for right-handed people. A study done in California showed that while right-handed people lived to be 75 on average, their left-handed counterparts lived about 9 years less on average, regardless of gender. It's tough out there for a left-handed person, so next time you're buying supplies for your colleagues or employees, remember to get left-handed friendly ones too. Number 6. George Bush and the Cannibalistic Incident. In 1944, during World War II, a group of 9 men were on board a plane that crashed on the Japanese island Chichijima. The locals on the island captured, tortured, and killed 8 of them, eating them after the fact. 4 of the Navy pilots were killed, and their livers and thigh muscles were fed to Japanese officers. Future President George H.W. Bush bailed out of his aircraft after it caught fire, further from the island than the others, and floated in the surrounding water for 4 hours, protected from the Japanese boats by American planes before he was rescued by the USS Finback, a submarine. What's more bizarre is that Bush never heard of the fate of his fellow brothers until 2003. Number 5. Ancient Romans used toothpaste. When they weren't using urine as a mouthwash, the Romans often used crushed mouse brains, powdered charcoal, bark, and bicarbonate soda as toothpaste. Turns out, raw brains are mildly abrasive and can be used to polish metal. Since there were plenty of mice around, it was easy to find them and would be very effective in cleaning teeth. I don't know, maybe I'd rather not have white teeth than use urine and mouse brains. What would you prefer? Number 4. Male lions change prides viciously. Though this doesn't happen incredibly often, lions kill cubs when they take over a pride to create a new generation of cubs that are all his. Female lions won't be receptive to mating when they're nursing, so it makes sense that killing the cubs allows the new lion to procreate sooner. Pregnant females can often disguise the cubs as his, some even hiding their existing cubs and not showing them until later. Male cubs have a higher likelihood of being killed by a new alpha lion when they're reaching maturity. Sometimes they'll just kick them out and they'll die. Not the Lion King story we all want to hear, I'm afraid. Number 3. Homeless people versus empty houses. Back in 2019, the official census stat was that there were over 16 million vacant homes in the United States. These vacant homes are defined as units where no one is living at the time of the census interview, not counting homes where the occupants are temporarily absent. A vacant unit can also be one which is occupied by people who usually live elsewhere. New units are classified as vacant as well once it's livable. In contrast, there are about 600,000 Americans experiencing homelessness per night, so there are about 26 empty houses for every homeless person who needs one. So even if you don't count all the not really vacant homes, you still have plenty to house all those people needing shelter, and yet we don't, and that's the creepiest fact of all. Number 2. Dust is human skin. According to a 2008 study from the University of Colorado, 15% of the air in a New York subway system is flakes of human skin. This is in addition to the dirt and other organic matter of which I don't even want to break down. Basically, our air is trash, especially on the New York subway. Excuse me while I purchase all the wearable face masks for when I make my way to the Big Apple. Number 1. Hearts can squirt blood 30 feet. Human hearts are really strong pumps. They're not just pumping enough to get through your whole body, but then some. To put this in perspective, the heart squirting blood up to 30 feet is about the length of a double-decker bus. Talk about a bloody crime scene. In fact, the heart is one of the strongest pumps we know, pumping 1 to 7 gallons of blood per minute and up to 2,000 per day. If you gathered all the blood your heart will pump during your life, it would equate to nearly 800 million pints. That's enough blood to fill an Olympic-sized pool over 151 times. Thanks for watching. Here's one more interesting fact that you do want to know. You can become an archivist right now by subscribing and clicking the bell. Be sure to give this video a like. Thank you, thank you, thank you.